Hey everybody, it's Jason Vlahai here, and now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And it has come to my attention that Cassady Campbell, someone I don't normally like, there's some history there. The guy's still funny, I just don't like him. But that being said, he trolled Brittany Fitness. And the thing is, it was actually done for a good reason this time. So let me put on my +5 out of weapons and everything. Work on skill at my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. And like I said, guys, I'm not really a fan of Cassady, but he trolled someone who, from what I can tell, I went and I've read the reviews, I've looked into stuff, people have sent me a bunch of material on it, I've seen all this stuff. She has legitimately ripped people off. And I think that's one of the scary things, when it comes to this whole fitness scene, is how easily people get ripped off with training plans and everything else. And I'm going to be honest, people don't research people before they start buying individualized training plans from them. And that's downright scary. And I'll jump into that in a minute. But what really bothers me the most is that I'm looking at this person, and she's a Texan. She is here in Texas. Right? She's in Texas, and she's promoting plant-based. Oh, I got this way through plant-based. It's actually harder to recomposition your body on plant-based diets. I'm not saying it can't be done, but if you're trying to do it through the most efficient method possible, that really isn't even the best way to do it. So again, she's gimmicky with her stuff, and that's fine. A lot of people want to do plant-based diets. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that, but it is not the most efficient method of recompositioning your body. It really isn't without animal source proteins. I'm not saying it's mandatory, but it's not the most efficient. And even worse, this is a woman who is supposedly one of these female empowerment people. I have my own views on female empowerment. This is where my own views are going to come in. Do you know what to me female empowerment is? Getting a woman under a squat bar, right? Getting her under a squat bar, getting her to where she can squat a full plate per side all the way to depth, right? That's female empowerment. Helping her get strong. How about getting her strong enough to where she can go from using a 9mm up to a 45 and not be worried about the recoil, right? To me, that's female empowerment. And that's the first thing I'll tell people right now. If you run around saying all this stuff about you want to empower women and you don't promote women carry, and you don't promote that women strength train under a heavy barbell, you really are not about female empowerment. Not at all. Furthermore, what it looks like she had done is put women on borderline starvation diets, right? Charging them $200 to give them a meal plan and a diet plan, which is already ridiculous because these aren't customized. She's not writing customized stuff for people. Customized training means that you're looking at their training videos. In other words, if you're paying someone for actual customized training and coaching services, they need to be critiquing your form. You need to be sending them form videos, and they need to be looking at your squat and correcting it and things like that. If they're not doing that, they are not actually a coach, right? If they are not doing that, you are buying a cookie cutter program from someone. In other words, if they're not adjusting your food intake based upon your current weight, changes in the scale, they're not adjusting your training based upon what they see in your technique, changes in bar speed, stuff like that, that's not customized. And people need to understand that right now. They need to understand that right now. That is not coaching. You are still buying a cookie cutter program. And you know what? Cookie cutter programs are free. There's people like me who have free programs. We don't charge for them. And I'm not the only one it's probably better programs than silly ass shit this woman is probably going to be promoting. Because I can already tell with the trendy stuff that she's already doing and looking like a Cheeto that she probably doesn't have very effective programs out there, right? She probably used a little anabar to get where she is, and has put in a lot of years of work, but it's not necessarily the most efficient or most effective way to do it. She may not know. And that's the simple reality of it when it comes to a lot of these fitness professionals, people who've maybe got certain genetic gifts, maybe they have trained really hard, maybe they use a little drugs and they've been at it long enough, maybe they reach a certain goal that you say, hey, I want to reach that goal. But just because they got there doesn't mean that they actually know the most effective route to get there. And in fact, I find most fitness personalities don't. They don't really actually understand good programming because they just use a little bit of drugs to carry them through. That doesn't make them qualified to teach you. Just because someone reached a goal eventually doesn't mean that they're qualified for you to pay them your hard-earned money to help you reach that goal as efficiently and safely as possible, right? It doesn't mean that. And oftentimes it means the opposite of it. Maybe it took them 8 years to do what they could have done in 3 or 4. And if they give you the same method that they use, and they may not be giving you the same method, then you sure as hell don't want that. You don't want to take 8 years to do what you could do in 3 or 4 years, and particularly if you can do it safely. So they don't always know. That's an assumption that people have when someone has a certain look. And the simple truth is, if you're paying that kind of $200 for a program, when some of the best programs are free, some of the best programs, even for women, for novice women ever written, can be gotten for free or for a $20 or $30 book. Do you understand that? And they're already personalized because you're not that different. You're not that different. I mean, I can tell most women out there, honestly, if they just ran starting strength, that would handle all the butt and leg development that they want. That would actually do it. And you know what? It's already personalized because it's set up based upon your starting strength levels. And you adjust all these linear programs. You adjust them based upon what? How much you're capable of lifting at any given point. So it is custom tailored. It's custom tailored for you based on workout to workout. And they're already written out in the books for you. But you're going to have to read it. And really, you should be hiring coaches mostly to help you with your technique, right? And novice people don't even need coaches. They can run cookie cutter programs. Do you know when you probably really need a coach to teach you how to do the lifts, the actual technique? And once you have basic technique down, why would you hire a coach when you stall at 3 years of serious training? Right? When you become an advanced lifter, maybe that's when you need a coach. You don't need a coach to gain a little muscle in your legs and to lose 20 pounds of fat. If you're paying for that, you're being ripped off. You don't need a coach for that. The most basic free information can get you there if you just go to the right sources, right? It's not that difficult. But you got people like her charging for it and then taking people's money and not even delivering what she promises them. All right, that's ludicrous. That's absolutely ludicrous. That's a con. I mean, I would already argue that giving cookie cutter programs where you're not really taking feedback from people seriously is already a ripoff. And that's kind of what it was implied, that customers have implied. They paid her $200 for programs, and then when they asked questions or they had complaints about some of the stuff they were doing, she blocked them and kept their money. Well, that's straight up theft of services. That is theft of services. And so when you have someone like Cassady who calls her out on that, Cassady's calling her out on that, totally reasonable. It's totally reasonable. And all these other people who are calling her out, a lot of these people are her customers. There's stuff up there of her own customers who she has taken their money and didn't deliver the products calling her out. And I think the moral of the story with a lot of this stuff, people really need to quit being taken in by these Instagram models and people, right? These Instagrammers, just because they've obtained a look, doesn't mean that they're knowledgeable. It really doesn't, guys, because I can tell you right now, when it comes to the way that your body looks, genetics and drugs and plastic surgery can do a hell of a lot. Because I know a hell of a lot of people whose knowledge of training science, sports science, exercise science, nutritional science, sports nutrition is borderline incompetent, if not completely incompetent, who still look amazing. Because you know why? Good genetics and drugs, using a shitload of drugs, believe it or not, guys, steroids actually do work. And they work on women too. And they don't always produce the look that you think they do. When people think of these She-Hulks who are roided out She-Hulks, they're using a lot of drugs. Some of these other women who maybe have a certain look, they're just genetically gifted and they're using modest amounts. They're spending $50, $100 a month on drugs. They're not spending $1,000 a month on drugs. And they get a totally different look. And then they can then pimp out their services. They can pimp out their services to all these naive people who honestly think that they have some special diet plan or training that did that. And you know the reality, you really want to change your body in the long term, get on a proper structured program and follow it for several years. Because you know what? I'm sorry, these are not magic secrets. The only magic secrets are drugs and plastic surgery. That's reality. That's reality. just basic hard work done correctly and consistently over time is the only way you're going to make changes to your body. And it's not usually going to be some magical special program unless that program involves moving big heavy weights consistently in a correctly programmed manner. But for most women, I would say women, probably all they really need is just get really good at barbell squats. Barbell squats, maybe some hip thrust or glute bridges, probably all most women need as far as training in the gym. That really is all of them need, and they just need to regulate their diet. And they need to be willing to lose whatever fat they want to lose slowly. They need to be willing to lose it slowly because that's the only thing that's going to work. That's a lifestyle change. That's a lifestyle change. And if you can't accept that involves a real lifestyle change, then you just need to accept that you probably don't really want your goals. And it doesn't have to be painful. Again, we come back to the point of if you're willing to lose body fat slow and at an appropriate rate, it actually doesn't seem that hard, right? It's not that hard because you're willing to do it over time. It's just about consistency. It's just about consistently making good choices. That's it. That's all it is. And not going too crazy with your benches. But putting in consistent work under the barbell with your training, that's going to be the training end of it that's going to really, really carry over to the long term. That's what's going to really make that difference a year down the road, 2 years down the road. And you don't get that with these silly-ass programs you're buying off Instagram. In fact, the programs themselves to get you there are usually free. They're actually free. Because everyone's already put them out. All the coaches have written it. I've written them. Other people have written them. Tons of people have written these programs that will get you there over time. We don't charge for them. We don't charge for them. They're already out there. There's so many of them that there's no point in it at this point. Because anyone who's smart is just going to grab the free ones anyways. The people who are buying these programs are being scammed. All right, guys. Well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. And I will talk to you guys next time.